Hi, thanks so much for joining me. I wanted to give you some examples of bulletproof exercises today. And just a brief history. Bulletproof exercises were, for the most part, born out of desperation. About 5 years ago, I had a number of new clients come on board, and a lot of them told me that they wanted to exercise, they knew the benefits, they knew they had to, but they simply were not able to due to painful, stiff, chronically inflamed joints. And I did not know what to do with these people. I knew I had to do something, because if they did not exercise, if they continued to hold off, they were, of course, going to be in more and more of a difficult situation in terms of their strength and mobility. So I went to the drawing board and went to the laboratory, put a lot of moving parts together, and that's where bulletproof exercises, that's where they all stemmed from. And since then, I've had so much success with them in terms of helping people with chronic pain, preventing arthritic symptoms, or at the very least delaying those symptoms. So much we could do to prevent. So that's how it all started. And what they do, they really just hone in on the strength and mobility of a joint. They keep that joint integrity so that it's able to move freely, it's able to endure daily stresses that is placed upon it. In this day and age, we're also susceptible to being in adverse positions. And that really has an effect on our strength and mobility, especially as we get older and older. That can really lead to some problems, to some deficits. So we want to do everything we can, again, to keep those joints strong and mobile, able to work functionally for us. So let me get into it now. Before I get started, if you are currently in pain, if you're hurting anywhere, if you have any medical contraindications at all to exercise, please do not do any of this. I beg you. If you do have a clean bill of health, though, I urge you to start trying this. It can make that much of an effect on your life, your quality of life, especially, again, as we get older. Let me first show you the Arthur test that I wrote about. I'm going to bring you over to the wall, and the Arthur test is just a quick general assessment of a lot of different joints that are susceptible to arthritis, and it just gives you some nice quick feedback on your mobility and strength. And all you need for this first part is 2 water jugs, and just fill them up about halfway. And so that's going to be about 4.5 pounds in each hand. So 2-gallon water jugs, but just fill them up halfway. And then from there, you're going to position yourself up against the wall, flat against the wall, so your heels are touching, your rear end is touching, your shoulder blades, the back of your head. The jugs are hanging to your side, your palms are facing in. And then from there, without moving out of this position, see if you can raise them up, keeping your arms straight over your head and touching the wall behind you, and then slowly come back down. So that's the first part, and as you can tell, that's really going to be assessing a lot with your shoulders, but also your neck, your back, your hips, even your hands, your grip strength. It's going to be assessing a lot of different major joints that, again, are very susceptible to breaking down. So that, again, gives us quick feedback on how we're moving, how our strength is in that position. The second part, you need your water jugs again, but this time make sure they're filled all the way up. So that it's going to be 1 gallon in each hand now, and that's going to be about 8.5 pounds in each hand. And then from there, just find a little open space, feet about shoulder width apart, pointing straight, water jugs hanging to your side out in front. I want you to go into a deep squat, but be sure not to compromise your back. Keep that back nice and strict. So we're going to squat deeply, come as far as you can down, and then place the water jugs on the ground. Hold for about 5 seconds, and then stand back up again, keeping that back nice and strict. that is the Arthur test. And you can see on that second part, going into that deep squatting motion, it really is assessing your mobility and strength in your hips and in your knees, your hands, your ankles, your back. So it just, again, gives you some quick intel on how you're moving, how strong you are with some of those major weight-bearing joints. That's the Arthur test. It's either a pass or fail. Those are the results. But either way, even if you excelled with the Arthur test, you could do it flawlessly, I would still highly suggest that you start working on these bulletproof exercises because, again, we want to stay in prevention mode. We want to do everything we can to keep those joints strong and mobile so we don't even have to get into that arthritic type of territory. Okay, so let's now go to some bulletproof exercises. And the beauty of these two is that you don't need any equipment. Anyone can do these. They're easy to modify. You can do them right at home. Very little time needed, but again, they are so effective in keeping our joints strong, mobile, and stable. So let's start with the knees. Let's start with the knee joint first. I'll give you a couple, but we'll start with the knees. And I'm going to work my left knee first, and you can see I have about a 90-degree bend in it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook my right ankle over my left ankle. So right over left. And from this position now, I'm going to brace myself. I'm going to stabilize, engage my core. Going to engage the glutes. Going to sit up nice and tall. You can even hold on to the sides of the chair to brace yourself. And I'm going to try to lift my left leg straight, but at the same time, I'm going to resist it with my right leg. So I brace myself, I'm stable, and now I'm going to try to lift. And again, I'm pulling back with the right, so I cannot move that left leg. About a 5 to 10 second hold and release. You've probably maybe seen something similar to this mode of strengthening. It's called an isometric. An isometric is when the muscle contracts, and you can see I was pushing pretty good there. Maximum strength probably for me, but I wasn't allowing it to move, so the joint is in a static position. It's stable, it's safe, it's low impact, so we can work our joints to maximum effort, as you could see, with very low impact, and those are the perfect ingredients, again, for staving off deterioration of the joints. Low impact, high contractibility with the muscles. And let me show you the other part that's really interesting. You can work this knee joint through its full range of motion now. So we're not just isolated to one particular spot or one particular motion of the knee. I can now crank it back to probably about 120 degrees. I can hook the right again, brace myself, and again, I'm trying to pull that left leg up, but I'm resisting with the right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. So again, I can work this knee joint through the whole range of motion. And you're controlling the resistance, of course, and that's another very key component. Mechanically, we're stronger at some positions than other, and we want to try to get the maximum amount of strength at each position. But again, we're in control. So I'm probably a little bit stronger at 90 degrees than I am at 120. But again, I can modify my resistance so I get the maximum contraction out of it. So I did 120, I did 90. I could take it up maybe a little bit higher now, maybe to 75 degrees. Lock my right leg over, brace myself, and here I go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, we can work that whole range of motion with the maximum amount of strength that we can handle at this time in a very stable, safe position. It's the perfect ingredients to staving off, to warding off arthritic joints. What is also another key attribute is, you can see I was trying to work my left leg up. That's the concentric phase of strengthening. I can also work it eccentrically, pulling down. So same positioning. This time though, I'm going to put my right foot underneath. So now with my left leg, I'm trying to pull back, working the muscles on the underside of my knee, primarily my hamstrings, resisting. So here I go. I brace myself. I'm trying to pull it back, but again, I'm resisting with that right leg, maximum effort, and release. I love it though, because we're working now multiple muscle groups. So many times when we're involved in exercises, we're just working, isolating one muscle, but by working both phases of this, we're working multiple muscle groups that stabilize that knee joint. So that's the knee, and I can think you can start to understand how powerful these are because we can work the full mobility at the joint with the maximum amount of strength that we can endure with it. So we did knee. How about some hips here? So again, I'm in the chair, moved out a little bit, stable through my trunk, my back, my glutes. I'm going to bring my feet and knees together. Let me scoot over a little bit. And I'm going to put my hands on either side, on the outside of my knees. This time I'm going to try to pull my knees apart using my hips, but I'm going to resist with my hands. So here we go. And I'm pulling out, resisting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very intense. They can get very intense, but again, you can modify it to your relative fitness level. I'm going to bring them out a little further now. So again, I can manipulate the mobility. I can manipulate the strength. So here I go. I'm going to resist, stable, push out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breaking a sweat here. So we can again go through that full active range of motion, strengthen at each increment. So those are hips, knees, and you can I basically have a bulletproof exercise, I think for every joint in the body. So you can get a full body workout here. Let me show you one for the upper body too. Going to be primarily your shoulders now, very susceptible to arthritis too in the shoulders. So I'm going to work the left one. So my left arm is to my side, my palm is facing in, my thumb is up. I'm going to cross over with my right hand and put it just above my left wrist. And just like I did with the knees and hips now, I'm going to try to raise my left arm, but I'm going to resist with the right. We're stable through our trunk, through our glutes, push those feet down. And here I go. I'm trying to lift, I resist. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's come up a little higher. Hold, here we go, stabilize, push up and resist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, I can work it all the way up to that full mobility in the shoulder, end range strength. And then again, I can work it eccentrically, coming down too. Resist and try to push down. So both phases, concentrically, eccentrically, full mobility, maximum contraction throughout the full range of motion. They're really something else. I cannot say enough about how effective these can be for you in terms of prevention, and I cannot say that enough too. So I think those are some good demonstrations. I think you have at least a pretty good idea now of what bulletproof exercises are, and again, how much they can help us, especially as we get older and older. We want to keep those joints as strong and stable and mobile as we can. All right, Bulletproof Exercises. My name is Erik. Been a physical therapist for a long time. I've literally worked with thousands of active seniors, and I've put together so many different strategies and tactics like this now that can really make your quality of life where it should be. We all get older, but we do not have to act like it. We certainly do not. We can add so much life to our years. That's what I'm doing. I've put together multiple, again, tactics like this to help active seniors. I'll leave my information below if you want more information, if you're interested, if what I'm showing you and demonstrating is something that you think is going to be helpful for you. I'll leave my information below. Please reach out. I'd be happy to talk to you. If you want more exercises or just want to talk to me about anything regarding your health and wellness, please reach out. I'd be happy to help you in any way I can. All right. All that I ask is that if you can, if you're interested in this type of subject matter, I would ask you to subscribe and like this video, and please pass it on to friends and family members. I just want to get the word out to as many active seniors as I can. There's so many falling by the wayside, and it does not have to be that way. I think many of us have the right intentions. We're just approaching it maybe not the right way, and unfortunately that shows as we get older. So please share it if you can. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and get to your bulletproof exercises. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.